Hello and welcome to How to Survive Red and Black Zone Gathering in Albion Online. My name is Zoran and this is my character Cretoria. First things first is your gathering gear. You will of course choose the type of gathering gear that's preferable for your resource, and you need to select some good skills that will help you escape. The best weapon for gathering is the Bloodletter, which has 2 mobility skills on W and E. And you're going to want an armored horse, some food for gathering, pork pies, potion of invisibility, and a good backpack so that you can maximize your carry capacity. So first up, let's simulate what it would look like if we were to get dismounted. Our character gets off the horse and it takes some time to refill the cooldowns, and then we use W and E, and I activate my boot skill, which is basically giving me increased movement for 10 seconds and is silencing myself for 15 seconds. So I need to use my weapon skills first. Then once they're back available, I use them once again and I jump on my horse. And I have more options still if necessary. So I have the potion of invisibility, and I also have cleanse to rid myself of any stuns or rooting effects to help me escape from gankers. Let's have a look at the recording from a red zone gathering session. So here I am at the bank of Bridgewatch. I'm getting ready to move out with my character. So I have my gathering gear, a bag and a backpack, and shortly I will equip a Bloodletter. And we're gonna go to the market and purchase a horse, some food, potion of invisibility, and also a skinning knife. Make sure that you are actually using armored horses. They are the fastest and they don't increase your carry capacity. I know that may sound weird, but you don't want to have your mount increase your carry capacity, because in the red zone and the black zone, you want your character to be mobile at all times. You don't want to go overweight in any scenario. And if you have a mount that increases your carry capacity, the moment you lose the mount is the moment you get slowed down significantly. And then you become an easy target for gankers. So you want to stick to armored war horses or other types of mounts that don't increase your carry capacity. Now in this scenario, I don't have to go out with such a high level of gathering gear or such a high level for the skinning knife, but I choose to go because I can afford losing this gear. That's also very important, is to decide whether you can afford to lose a certain set of gear. One other thing that you can do to increase your profitability while going out, because you're gonna risk it anyways, you can sign up with the local faction. So every time you gather, you also get faction points. This slightly increases the danger, because now you don't only have to worry about red flag people, you need to worry about other faction flag people. So that might be a go or no go for you, but I regularly sign up. Going in the red zone, you need to pay attention to a few elements. First, is there anybody at the gate instantly? If there is, you can simply go back, you don't have to commit. There is enough time that the shield buff lasts, so you can actually go in, check, and go back. The second thing is the number of hostiles in the area, which is described by a number on the bottom right. If there are too many hostiles, I tend to be extremely cautious, but if there are not so many, like it's the case right now, like it's 2 or 3, it's okay. The thing you really have to realize is that it's very difficult for individual gankers to kill a gatherer, because the gatherer has so many escape options. Because I'm doing hide gathering, I'm gonna be more specific about what to do when hide gathering. You always want to stay close to your mount, and you want to target 1 to 2 creatures at a time. Anything more than 2 is a significant risk, because then you might get dismounted instantly by a player attacking you because you couldn't get on your mount in time. Every time a creature attacks you while you're trying to mount your horse, for example, it's going to cancel that attempt. And it's going to be very painful if you're being approached by a red player at the time. So take things slow, you don't want to overcommit to pulling so many mobs at the same time. If you look at the bottom right now, you'll see 15 hostiles. I still haven't noticed this, but at the moment when I do, I start to react. Let's skip to that. 15 seconds later, I finish the gathering and I see that there are 14 hostiles. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? So my first goal is to actually see what they're doing. Are they camping an exit? Because if they are, I can probably exit through here. So I'm just chilling. There is a death by the Hellgate. And that the number is significantly reduced. So it's down to 4 now. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'm feeling safe again. This run was mostly uneventful. And as weird as it may sound, I am sad that nobody tried to gank me, because then I would be able to show you in this video. But the basics are the same, especially beneficial in the red zone where you have more information than you would in a black zone. Because in the red zone you can see the number of enemies that are in the area, and blue players cannot attack you, so you don't have to be afraid of them. Now let's talk maybe a little bit about what to do to keep yourself protected. So when you find the resource that you want to gather, you have to make sure that you're staying close to your mount at all times. And whenever a hostile may show up, you have to click on your mount as fast as possible. The reason for this is because if you are not on your mount, any attack from a hostile player will instantly dismount you and your mount will disappear, and then you will have to run away or fight. And unless they have battle mounts, which you're not gonna find gankers using battle mounts because they're very expensive, they cannot attack you while they're mounted. So if you can see that extra bar for that represents mount health, then you can be certain that you're not about to be attacked. But gankers sometimes use potions of invisibility to get really close. So if you want to remain as safe as possible, simply move away a significant amount when you first see a hostile. So what are the benefits of gathering in a red zone? First things first, there's no competition. Second, if you look at the map, you'll see that the enhancement rates for some red zones are much higher than normal zones. And third, you can only find higher tier resources in either red or black zones. So the higher tier of gathering gear that you attain, you're gonna have to go to the red zone, you're gonna have to go to the black zone. And because you watch videos like this, you're gonna be better prepared for it. That's as much as I have to say about red zones, and because gathering is relatively a boring activity to watch on video, I've just skipped ahead to where I fill my capacity. So here I went overboard, so I'm just gonna throw away some of the goods that I found, because I don't want to be slowed down. Like, I'm prepared for gankers at any time, and if I have more than I can carry, I need to get rid of that. And I'm making my way back to Bridgewatch so I can access the bank or the market, and I can sell or keep my resources in the bank, whatever I decide. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to show you how it would look like if I was to escape from gankers, but this video should be valuable for the information that it contains either way. So I've skipped all the way to going back to Bridgewatch, where I can save my resources and also take advantage of the faction points that I've gathered. For now, I'm not actually using my faction points, I'm just gathering them until I can unlock the higher tiers. But bringing journals and going out with a faction flag is one of the ways to increase your profits from gathering. The way journals work is you basically buy them from the marketplace, or you get them from laborers on your island, and then you fill them up to give them back to the laborer in question, or you actually sell them back to the marketplace at a huge profit margin. While we're here talking about profits, selling the actual items, the hides that you gather, is usually better than refining them, unless you do it at the specific towns. For hides, it's Martlock, which gives you 35% resource return bonus, so you can actually make money by refining them at the specialized places. Usually a gathering run lasts about 30 minutes, which is why you should bring 2 pork pies with you, because each one lasts only 30 minutes as well. And I've noticed that if I bring only one, I usually run out and my carry capacity diminishes and I become slower, which is obviously not a good thing. So for this reason, always bring 2 pork pies, one that you eat before you leave and the second one that you eat on the way back if necessary. So when you're gathering for 30 minutes, the usual profits that you'll have is about 100 to 200,000 silver, depending on where you sold it and the tier of the gathered resource. For now, let's have a brief look at what it looks like to go into a black zone and gather tier 7 hide. In this case, I've just went through the portal at Martlock because it's closest to tier 7 hide from what I've seen. And the first thing I want to see is, are there any people waiting at the portal for me to move out? Because if they have swift claws, for example, they can catch up to me and try to kill me. That was the case, I would leave and go check another portal to find the best route for my gathering run. So seeing how it was clear, we just move on and go to the next zone. I know where I'm going because I've pre-planned, so I've looked at the world map and I've checked the zones and I've checked where I'm supposed to be going. It's very important to have a plan about where you're going and where you'll end up, because it's the last thing that you want to be doing in a black zone or a red zone, is to be looking at your map, looking at your destiny board, looking at anything that doesn't show you the game. You don't want to find yourself in a position where you're standing still and a ganker is literally jumping on top of you and you're basically already halfway dead before you realize that you were even attacked. So I'm moving through this zone to get to the next one because that's where the tier 7 animals are. And we've reached the next zone, which is our final destination. Here we'll find tier 7 hides, the animals that carry them, and also other gatherers. Potentially, there is also gankers or territory holders who are going to protect this territory from foreign gatherers like us. My alliance is not active in these regions, so I'm pretty much solo, and I know that if I get into a fight, I will most certainly die. But at this point, I'm comfortable with the danger, and I'm also comfortable with losing this equipment that I have. Because it's not the end of the world. I can afford to buy it once again. And that's exactly the type of gear you should be carrying to red and black zones. Because if you can't find it affordable, you really shouldn't be going out with that type of gear. Here we see another person who is dismounted, and I'm approaching him to see who he is, and I can see that he is a gatherer, so I'm trying to have a conversation with him. He's obviously experienced because he's not really reacting. He's keeping on gathering. I'm still mounted. There is no danger because he can see. He thinks I'm a gatherer as well. I could essentially try to gank him right now. But we're having this conversation and I'm asking him, hey, what zones haven't you been in this area? So because we're gathering the same resource basically. And he's telling me he died 3 times. And being the ZVZ GVG time of period of day, after a reset, I can completely understand why why he's died 3 times, because you can easily run into 20 plus people that are running around, and if they are so inclined, they will try to kill you. So after this conversation with this guy, we're just gonna move on and do our own gathering. Really see a lot of action in this black zone either, which is again unfortunate for the video, but I'm quite happy to be uncontested in my gathering run. But if there's anything you're gonna take away from this video, is that not everybody in the black zone wants to kill you, and also not everybody in the red zone wants to kill you. So you need to be very mindful and understand your situation. Of course, it's better to run away first and then come back to gather the resources once again. But in some specific scenarios, you don't even have to run away. So the best bet when you're just starting to go to the black and red zones is to run away. Just run away. Don't try to talk to people. This is not something that happens too often. Most people will try to kill you. Here we have a moment where we find our first prey, which is mature saber-toothed tiger. Resources of tier 6 or below regenerate 1 at a time, while resources of tier 7 and above regenerate fully. So I know that once I kill this tiger, I'm going to get 23 pieces of tier 7 gathering attempts. And I'm saying attempts because it says 23, but I'm going to get probably about 50 of the hides. That's simply because of the gathering and premium bonuses that I get from the pies, from the gear, and my premium subscription. And because this black run also wasn't too eventful, we didn't have to dodge any gankers, we didn't have to avoid a certain death. We're just gonna skip on the way back. So about 20 minutes later, I'm almost at full capacity and I'm getting ready to leave. So basically I go slightly overboard to make sure that I'm carrying as much as possible. And then we are just jumping on the horse and leaving back to the portal. The way back is also quite uneventful. We do pass by some other players, but we are not really concerned as they don't seem to be hunting us. They're just passing through as well. And there is no reason to be afraid. We're just gonna pass each other and that's gonna be it. The rest of this video is just me going back to the portal and not much more. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for watching the video. I would be extremely happy if we can reach like 12 likes on this video. Feel free to leave a comment below with some ideas about future content, feedback about this one. If you're looking for a mature, friendly, economy-focused guild, find the Discord link in the video description. This has been Zoran and you have been awesome. Thank you once again for watching and I'll see you next time.